Hi everyone, it's Veronica. Today we're going to be doing a really awesome design and I hope that you will enjoy it. This is not something that is just thrown together. There's many moving parts here as far as how we're going to put it together. So with that, let me let you know what we're going to be using, and then of course I'll clear out what I'm not going to be using to start with, and then we'll move on from there. Today we're going to be using, this is my, it's like a satin gold here. It calls it gold color, but it looks very satiny, and I just love it. And I can't seem to find it in this color. I'll just keep searching. But this is the 19 strand Bead-A-Long, and it is the, I think it's 0.46 millimeter, or I think it's 0.08 inch. I can't read it, obviously. Anyway, it's very thin, and I need to have it thin because we're going to be going through these beads with some fire line after that. Not all of them, just certain parts. Okay, so if you have some fire line, I'm using the smoke color because it's dark, and the beads are on the darker side here. So I certainly don't want, you know, a white thread here, simply because if it does show a little bit, the white will stand out more than, you know, the darker color here. So you'll need about 3 feet of that. This one will be approximately the size that you would want. I would say just pull out about 14 inches. That should be enough to get you to get your beads on, and I guess to crimp it up. I have a toggle clasp I am going to be using. I already connected the chain. This is the mother-son chain, and this is about 4 1/4 each. Okay. Between the toggle and the end, and the bar of the toggle and the end. I have some 15-0 seed beads here in the bronze. I also have 15-0 here in the Miyuki. Now they may look smaller than this. These are a little bit bulkier in width, but the whole size is the same. So this is the root beer color that came in the Orphanage, the Gemstone Orphanage by Homestrung Jewelry. Their YouTube channel, all that information is going to be in the description box. And I have some bead caps here. I have about 12 of those. I have about 20 of the 3 millimeter carnelian faceted rounds here that came also in the Gemstone Orphanage subscription box. These are the bamboo shape carnelian gemstones here. I have the check. These are the lighter color of the mix that we got in the Gemstone Orphanage, and these are I think they are they're 4 millimeter, I believe. 4 millimeter of this beautiful, it's like a light topaz, a dark champagne color. And I'm going to be using 5 of those, but I have 6 here in case one goes flinging somewhere else. These are my check cream colored satiny pearl beads. They're a glass. They're not pearls, but they have that pearlized look to them, a satiny look. They're absolutely gorgeous. We'll be using 5 of those, and I have an extra one just in case. I have 2 pieces, 2 8/0s here, also in the bronze color, and I'm using the antique copper and the bronze. I think they look beautiful together. It's not such a contrast in the color, so I think it's okay to use them. They just both look beautiful up against the carnelian. The cream color looks great up against that carnelian look, and this combination of colors gives it a beautiful antique look to the piece. I've done a bracelet that used these colors with the carnelian, which was an English cut in the 6 millimeter. So I did one of those flat twist bracelets, and I used these, and it just gave it this beautiful antique style. It's just gorgeous. So we're going to be using all these today. I have some wire guards here. I don't see why I'm not going to use them today, because it seems that it would be very supportive in this particular piece. And so let's get the camera. Well, the camera's already turned around, so why don't we I'm going to pick out what it is we're going to start with, and then I'll be right back, and let's begin. All right, so what we're going to do is start with our bead-along wire. Okay, so like I said, I got about 14-15 inches. I'm going to clip one end because I want to make sure that beads do not fall off. Now, this is going to be like a double strand, except one is part of it, it's going to be bead-along. Like I said, the other one is going to be the fire line. So what I'd like to do is get one of our wire guards on. Okay, so we are going to start with our bead-along wire, and we're going to start with what I have towards the end, and then we're going to work our way to the other end. So what I want to do is add the bead cap. Okay, I want to then add one of our bamboo, another bead cap, all right, and this is where I want to add in one of the 8/0s. I'm going to add, this is our crimp bead. Okay. All right, now we're going to put that on there, and then we're going to take the needle with that has already have the thread on it. Okay. First, we're going to put our bead-along wire through. Okay, so if you can see, it goes through one of those holes. I'm hoping I don't lose anything, because I am literally down to the last here. I have no extras for like these or some of the bead caps. I already lost one, which was my extra, so I am done. So I'm going to come through here. As you can see, you don't need to have a whole lot. It's like you're just working with this alone, all by itself. Okay, you can go ahead and cinch that here. Just kind of bring them together. Okay, it'll spring back a little bit, but that's fine. Okay, make sure that it is in the divot. Okay, we're going to bring up all of our things here. I want everything to go through all these beads. And again, you see how sometimes it gets loose and it comes right up off. Well, we got to make sure that that stays on there. Okay, we got to make sure it stays in the divot. Now what I'm going to do is pull this. Okay. I want to snip this actually. But I don't want to do it just yet, because then I won't have anything to grab if it slips through again. So now at this point, we're going to have to just hold on to it. Make sure you don't lose one end, because we're going to be able to push that all up, and then we're going to crimp. But we do have to get this one through as well. So bring everything back up. You're going to come through your bead cap, your bamboo, come up through the other bead cap and all of the other beads here. Okay, just come through all of those. Now again, you're doing the same thing. You're just gonna bring it around, and you're gonna have just enough of the thread, just like you do of the other wire you have here. Okay. I'm gonna have to get this on here. I'm just really holding on to that up there. Okay, I just want to get these back through. And get the other bead cap through. I know it looks kind of messy right now. Just want to get everything through. Okay. I'm going to hold on to that right here. Okay, this is going to be the most difficult part. So now you want to just keep bringing this up so that it's short, just like the other one. Okay, because the rest of it, just like the rest of this wire, this is where all the beads are going to lay. Okay, now we didn't get it up and around that yet, only because when it comes to the fire line, it's not easy to already come through here and around and pull, because it won't move at that point. So now you can go ahead and enter it right up through that loop. And I have one of those wide-eyed needles, so it's a little bit more flexible than if you were to have a different style of beading needle. So again, this is going to be the most challenging part here, but I just want to make sure that I get these on here. Okay. And I'm not very good with my left hand, so I am going to have to just finagle this somehow to get this up into. All right. This is why you need a thinner needle, because you want to be able to get through that same hole that you put the wire through in your wire guard. Okay. And this is getting tangled on me. All right, so now that I have it up there. Now what I want to do is have to come back down, because we have to cinch this, crimp it, okay? So now you're just going to come down. If you can only get through that part, then that's all you need to do for the moment. Make sure it falls into that divot. Okay. I don't want to lose everything. Again, this is the most challenging part. So make sure everything is falling into that divot. Now you can hold it with your thumb, because now you can come back down through all of this and come right out of that bead cap. Okay. Now that we get the hard part over. All right, now you can make sure everything is nice and tight. Everything is laying right and straight. Okay. And then you're going to come in and find something so that you don't smash your bead here. So you want something with a thin tip, okay? And if that's too thick, I'm going to go with these are much thinner, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go ahead and crimp that. Okay. So it's nice and crimped here. And these should be nice and sturdy. Okay. Now, if you want, you can snip that down, or you can just, I would say snip it down only because you might find it hard, both of the bead-along getting through the 3 millimeters that we're going to go through. Okay. So I would say, I'm just going to move the bead cap. Actually, you know, I can move these now, and I'm going to cut this so that it just actually hangs inside of that, of the bead itself. And make sure you don't cut anything else. Okay. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to go ahead and keep adding. All right, now this is where we're going to separate. I should probably cut that too. That's annoying. All right, let me just cut that here. Because it's just going to get in my way. All right, so all right, now I have them up here. You want to try to keep, you know, obviously if you are going to make a 2-strand, you want to, of course, have one above, one below. So you want to try to keep one towards the bottom. Now that we have this together, we have now anchored everything. Now we're going to go through and do our pattern, and I will show you what the pattern is going to be for the bead-along. So now that we have the bead cap on, now we're going to go with a it's going to be a 3 millimeter. It's going to be a 15-0 here of the root beer color, or whatever you have. Like I said, if you don't have these beads, you're going to be able to, you know, pick out your own beads. And if you like this design, just know that, you know, getting it started is not going to be the easiest. But I'll tell you, in the end, this is going to be absolutely gorgeous and rewarding for all the hard work. Okay, so then it's going to be another 3 millimeter. Then we're going to have our bicone. Oh, my stomach's still growling. And then just go backwards with that pattern. Okay, so it's going to be 3 millimeter, a 15-0, a 3 millimeter. And then the bead cap for the next one here. Now what I'd like to do at this point is make sure that everything here, we get the pattern on here to finish off all 6 of these, okay? And then we can go ahead with what we're going to do with our fire line. And the reason for that is because, you know, we don't need this flipping all over the place. We don't need our beads flying everywhere and, you know, sliding up and down on here. I want to get it nice and solid, get it finished, and then we can start with the fire line. But it needed to be connected here in the beginning, okay? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add another of the bamboo. We already added the bead cap, another bead cap facing the other direction. So you're just putting a bead cap on it like it's a regular old bead. And then do that pattern again. Do that pattern again. in here. So I'm going to do that one more time. But it's probably worse having to watch this, somebody trying to find a hole, than it is to actually do it. Oh my goodness. 15-0. This is just to give it some contrast between the two little beads. Your bicone. Okay, and then repeat that on the other side. Oh my goodness. Just know you guys can always speed this up in your own YouTube channel if you're watching this. Okay, those options are available. So you don't have to sit here and watch this. If you need to slow it down because you missed something, or you want it just so you can, watch it on a slower pace, you can do that as well. And then again, the bead cap. All right. Bamboo shape. I keep wanting to call it a bamboo. It's not bamboo. It's carnelian with a bamboo shape. And I don't know why my fingers just don't want to keep grip of these things. Okay. They don't stay in my fingers. Oh no. All right. So as you can see, and there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest off of camera, and I'll be back. All right, so I have finished getting them all on my bead-along wire. As you can see, I have flipped it over because I want to show you now. We're just going to end this one, and I'm not worried about getting this around the wire guard on this side because we're just going to end up tying it off somewhere around in this area. And but I did want to get it started here, and so that we can have it coming out here in the beginning. Okay, so I want to try to get this so it'll lay nice. And if you notice with the wire guard, they may not always turn in the same way, so I really want to try to get it so that they are facing the same way, so that when you do add a chain or whatever it is you're adding, they will not, one won't be twisted one way and the other way, which can make, wearing a toggle, not a toggle, but the chain kind of twist around, or especially, it depends on what you're using. If it's just one, like 2 millimeter chain, it probably won't make a big bit of a difference. But I just think too, it just looks much better when they try to hang in the same direction. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and at this point now add, as you can see here, we're going to put on our 8 millimeter, our 8/0 rather, and our crimp bead. And now we're going to go here, and I actually want to kind of close this right now while we're here, so I don't have to try to fuss with it when we're done. So as you can see, I'm going right up in there. And I want to try to get it, it's not always easy here, but make sure all your beads are together nice. And I'm going to come down. Make sure this is facing this way. Then we're going to come down and around that tube. Let me come in closer. I'm going to make sure all my beads are absolutely up against each other. So now I'm going to come down and around through here. That's a little curved. So I'm just going to bring it down through here for now. Make sure that it sits right in that divot. You need to use your fingernail or whatever to push it over. Make sure it sits right in there. Okay. And now we can go down through our crimp bead. See, this is going to be, again, a very challenging thing here. All right, seems to want to flip that way. So I'm just going to let it do what it wants to do. So I'm going to come down through the crimp bead. This thing about wire guards, they're more of a nuisance if you ask me. That's why I don't use them all the time. All right, so I'm going to try to get it through there, but this wire wants to do whatever it wants to do. So I'm going to snip it a little bit here. Boy, this is a pain. I got to tell you, this is a pain. So if you don't want to use wire guards, please, you don't have to. I just want more security here, that's all. So I'm trying to get through, down through that other bead cap. Okay, now I have to make sure everything's together. I want to make sure it sits in there without pushing up. All right, just make sure it's nice and even. Okay. And like I said, it seems to me that they're going to go in whatever direction they want. And I think it's because of the wiring. So what I want to do is try to just squeeze this a little bit more closed. And I want to give that one a squeeze. Okay. And be careful not to squeeze your your 8/0 because it's glass. It doesn't it's not going to look good if you smash that and you get a big open space. All right, so it looks like it just wants to do whatever it's going to do. I'm trying to at least bend it. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And then we're going to see how it lands. And we want to make sure this is going to go towards the bottom. This is where we are now going to add some seed beads and our pearls, and kind of give it a scalloped look to it. And I hope that it comes out beautiful. And I want to make sure I have my needle on the other end. All right, so I'm going to have to get out the other seed beads. I'll be right back. All right, so now I'm back. And as you can see here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give some scalloped look in between each of these. And all I did was, as you can see, that the fire line was coming out of there. And if I didn't mention it, make sure you have at least 4 feet of fire line or a wingspan. You'll probably have way more than you need, but it's always good to have more. because we are going to be using some seed beads. It will take up a little bit of space, but I just like to have a little extra. And whatever is left over, I just put aside because I can always use it again, you know, in another project. You know, I always make sure that I inspect it and that it's not compromised in any way and that it can be used again. Okay, so all I did was, and I'm taking the Miyuki ones, the ones that came in the Gemstone Orphanage. Miyuki seem to be a bit, I don't want to say a little bit, a lot bit, more consistent in its size. And these are the Miyuki rounds. Most Miyukis, you would see that they're more like the Delicas. They're squared off. These have the rounded edges, so they are comparable with the Toho. I still seem to see that Miyuki seems to be a little bit more consistent in their sizing. Even though Tohos are really good seed beads, I'm just finding Miyuki a lot better. So if you guys have a preference, that is up to you. But Toho and Miyuki seem to be the best ones that you can find for consistent results. And I tried it both with the Toho and with the Miyuki and found that I'm getting a better scalloped look here with the Miyuki. And so I am using the 15-0s that came in with the Gemstone Orphanage with that root beer color, and I just think it's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. And so I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I did it. And basically I'm just taking 10 of the seed beads, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 and 10, and then I'm taking the pearl, and then I'm going to put 10 on the other side. I like to spread them out. It's easier to pick up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. And then, as you can see, I just went through the bamboo. I skip all of these. So I'm skipping all of these beads. So I'm coming out of the bead cap, and I'm going to skip all of them, come over and come into the other bead cap. I'm just going to go through the bamboo shaped carnelian, come out of the bead cap on the other side. And I'm going to try to stay towards the bottom of that beadalon wire and not get it wrapped around, because it'll help keep these stay in place here, okay? So you don't want to yank too tight, just enough, okay? Get your beads back in place. All right. So, let's see. So you can start to see this beautiful scallop shape coming out from here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. I hope I wasn't out of frame because I did bring it in again. And I tell you, having to come in close is not easy on this camera. So let me come out a bit. All right, so again, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. All right, then we're going to have that. All right, so just like that. All right, then we're going to bring that down. Okay. And just come up through that bead cap over here. Seem to lose my place here. It's not that hard, really. Every time I get on camera, everything's got to be so much more difficult. It really is not. Oh, okay, and up through that bead cap on the other side. Okay. All right, let's see. If you feel like it's getting twisted, just kind of play around with the, with your fire line. Make sure you get everything nice and straight. Okay, so there you are. There's 3 here. I'm going to do the other 2 off camera, and I'll be right back, and we'll go ahead and see what length this is, and then we'll measure, at least for my size. I like to have this much closer to the throat than the chest with this particular style, and so closer to being a choker than not. Not quite a choker, but definitely something that's much closer to that style. All right, so let me finish those and I'll be right back. All right, everyone, I'm back here, and I finished off the last 2, and I want to just tie it off here. So if some of you are not familiar with tying off your fire line or any kind of thread that you're using, and again, I don't want to yank so tight, but just enough where they just nicely hang there. Okay, so I am coming out of just the bead cap here. All right, so I'm just basically going to go around as if I'm going around the bead. Okay, and stay underneath that 8-0. Okay, you're going to make a loop, and you're going to come right through it. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and pull, and just do that again. Okay, make a loop. Just want to make sure I have that. You're going to come through just like you're tying a regular old knot. Okay, and then you can, just like if you're bead weaving, just come down right through that bead again, and you can come through the other bead cap on the other side. Okay, come through all these. Hopefully your needle will get through all of these. If not, you could tie it off right there. Let's see. I can't see. All right, well, I'm not even going to bother because, I mean, that's just ridiculous to have to struggle like that. All right, so I'm just going to tie it off on this end. Same thing. Just going to come and make a loop. Come through that loop. Just make sure it doesn't get hung up on anything else except in between the bead cap and that first. Okay, one more time. And I'm going to come through the loop and make sure. All right, so from here, I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And if there's any left over, you can certainly use a lighter to burn that, which I am because there's a little tag. So I am going to use a little lighter here. So as you can see, let me show you. See that? Just sticking out just a little bit right there. So I'm just going to take a lighter and you're going to watch it ball up. You don't need to put it directly in the flame. Just enough where you see it. Just go right in there. You see that? Okay. Now you're just going to straighten everything out. And let's go ahead and measure this. Okay. All right. I'm going to put up my needle somewhere else. Oh, okay. It's just not sticking right. Put up my tools. All right, so let's get the ruler. I like mine about 17 inches, but I think I'm going to make this about 16 and a half. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's measure this. Get my ruler. All right, let's see. So from there, all right. So it looks like 7 3/4. So with that, that means I would need about, 10 inches. Well, I would say perhaps these might be good enough for this, because like I said, it's 4 3/4, so it's 8, 8.5, so it's 4 1/4, so this would be 8.5. So 8.5 and 17 or 7.5 is what? 15.5. So I'm going to add then some jump rings in here, some bigger ones here, so it'll give it that extra, 1/2 inch that I want, or inch. Okay, so let me go look for those. I'll be right back. All right, so I found these two here. They were in the orphanage, the Gemstone Orphanage. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to need a little jump ring here and a little jump ring here. And I'm not sure if I can actually open these. I think I can. I wonder if these can be opened like a jump ring. Okay. All right. If not, I'm just going to get some of the small jump rings, and I'm going to add them. So these are 1/2 inch each. So they will add an inch to the necklace. So I'm okay with that. All right. Let me go find those jump rings that I need for these. I'll be right back. All right. So as you can see, these are not jump rings. They're just rings, so they do not open like them. They're nice. They got a nice flat surface on there. So these are great for, you can always add wiring around that. And again, I'm just going to put this together because I want to make sure it's the right size. And we'll see. I may even add the leather instead of the chain later, but I want to see how it looks, because I think this is such a pretty chain and it is delicate. And I think this design here is delicate enough to warrant that kind of chain. Okay. Make sure that's closed. And I may double up on these jump rings here because they are a little bit thinner in gauge, so they're not quite as strong as what I'm used to. But I certainly will take care of that later. All right, let's see. Make sure that's closed. Perfect. I like when it cooperates like that. All right, and now it's just a matter of getting this on. Where's the opening? And yeah. One more, and then I can try it on and I can show you what it looks like. And again, it's a toggle, so you don't really need to, so unless you're comfortable with having the bar or the loop on a particular side, for me it doesn't matter. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do, I think this is just so pretty. I am going to go ahead and try that on and make sure it's the size I like. And then if I'm not comfortable with, you know, the chain or whatever, I'll just, you know, change it up somehow, probably throw in some leather for the chain part. So we'll see. But I think this is really, really pretty this way. And you get a nice scallop look. All right, so let me go try that on and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, here it is. I think it is just so cute. And one of the things I like about this is because of the guards, even though I don't use them that often, is that you can change the chain. You can put change it to leather. You can change it to a different style of chain. And so you have the main part. And if you have the jump rings connected here, if you have, you know, anything connected to the guard, and you'd have to cut it somehow to get it off, it's great to always use the guards and then have a jump ring to attach the chains or whatever it is you're using. This way that you can change it around. But I think this is just so cute and so, you know, it has that nice antique look to it because of that creamy color and the orangey colors that go in here. And you can see the sparkle that is with these 3mm and the 4mm bicone. And it just, so again, you can still have gemstone and throw some sparkle in there. I just think it is really, really cute. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this, and it's time for me to go rest because I am just so tired. I've had such an exciting week between work and great things happening with my family, a family member. So I think I am mentally exhausted, and yeah, so it's time to rest. So if I hope that you enjoyed the video and the tutorial, and pardon anything that I have done that just seemed a little off, because I think it's just that I'm really tired. So everyone, I appreciate your beautiful comments, and I hope that you will come back and see more of my creations, and we'll just go from there. And everyone, again, God bless. He loves you, and he wants you to be with him, and all of us together, one with our Heavenly Creator. So everyone, God bless. We'll see you soon, God willing, and have a beautiful and glorious weekend. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.